Yo, and hello, everybody. Mike here, baseball collector. That guy right there. Who is that?
She blinded me with refractors.
Andy, my buddy Andy. We are doing something different tonight, something really different. We're doing open mic night tonight. And I'm sure as people start coming into the stream, if anybody decides to join us, they're going to see the title and go, what the heck is this? But what we're going to try to do tonight is I've had a lot of people during live streams ask to be a part of live streams. And tonight's your night. It's open mic night. So what we're going to do is have you guys join in. Andy and I will talk here for a little bit. We'll see who joins in the stream and see if you want to come join us here on StreamYard on this and pop in with us here and chat with us. Just kind of talk. So
no pun intended on the open mic night.
You know, I can't help that my name is Mike and a microphone is slang for Mike. So
right.
That is what it is. Hello, Wrigley Regular. How are you? Well, we got 13 people watching. Dustin and Blake, I'm here for a minute. So again, as people are here, like Big Harv is here. Like Big Harv, if you want to get on this with us, all you have to do, here's the thing, what you have to do. You have to have a microphone, a camera, either on your phone or on your desktop. And you need to have an email address and be willing to share it in the comments. Andy will send you a link that you can join us right here and come on and chat with us. And everybody's going to get 5 minutes to talk, and we'll kind of rotate people through if they want to come on and talk to us and just talk about the hobby, talk about your collection, whatever. So, Kevin Jones, put your email down, Kevin, and you can join us. And if you have a camera and a phone, we'd love to have you. Like Ryan's on here, he'd be fun. B Roth 6, everybody. I mean, so what team does Andy pull for? He pulls for the Golden State Warriors.
If anybody's watched any of my videos, they know who I pull for.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch your video, Andy, from earlier today.
Yeah, it was a fun video. Obviously, anybody that watches my channel knows about how I feel about Russell Westbrook, and you know, I just kind of go into a little bit of thoughts about the whole reason behind why I collect who I collect. I mean, there are, you know, obvious reasons, but you know, there's, I guess, a few underlying reasons as well. So, yeah. So I'm trying to keep up here with the. I'm following the comments like on my phone because I don't have the YouTube video pulled up here with me, so I'm kind of.
Sometimes it'll block certain comments, and I wonder if you're going to put your email in and you want to join in with us, maybe put your whatever your, like, I'm gonzalesnut@hotmail.com. So Gonzalesnut, and then I put a space and then @hotmail.com. So YouTube doesn't, even though we know there's no spaces, just to try just to make it show up, because I haven't seen a single email yet. Maybe Andy, no one wants to join us.
Maybe nobody wants to talk to us. That's a possibility.
First open mic night might be a complete dud.
I'm looking here at the comments, and KBO Collections says, OKC guy, one of my old buddies from Korea is playing in the system now.
Playing in the system now.
I don't know. What do you mean by that, KBO? Like what do you mean that
see Kevin Jones' email there?
I see that. Okay. So Kevin Jones wants to join.
There's B Roth. B Roth wants to come in too. I'll send it to Brian because I have his email.
You have his? Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin Jones B.
At least I better, or he'll be mad at me. So this should be fun. We're just going to chat and talk and see who wants to join in. I need to probably sign into my email to send an email. Is that typically helpful?
That is typically helpful, I would think.
Okay. Seems like you shouldn't have to. Like you could just send an email without being signed in, but whatever.
That's what I'm getting this one sent over to Kevin Jones.
All right, we won't do more than 2 extra people at a time because that might get crazy.
So Kev Jones, I'm just going to put the link here in this email I'm sending.
Same here, Brian. You're about to get an email with a link in it. Just click on it and put your name in. And it's kind of self-explanatory if you've never done this before. It's pretty fun. Oh, there's Big Harv. So Big Harv, we got Wax Pack Poetic once in. All right, well, y'all will get your time. We're only going to let each guy in. We want to try to get as many guys on here as we can. So it'll be just a fun little roundtable discussion on whatever comes up. So,
all right. So are you going to try to kind of keep up with?
Yeah, I'll be able to see them come on. Well, I'll do my best to try to keep up.
Yeah.
There's my Canadian card. So
me too.
We've been doing this, by the way, guys, kind of offline, where we'll have 4, 5, or 6 of us just all talking, and we'll go literally hours where, usually it's for sure always me and Andy, and almost all the time Eric is with us. And then we'll have Mike has joined us before.
Ray.
Who's that? B. Roth.
There's Brian.
Yo.
What's up, buddy?
That way. That's better.
And
nice haircut.
Thank you. Yeah, I cut my hair. My younger cousin was diagnosed recently with lymphoma and started losing his hair right before Thanksgiving. So some members of my family and I cut our hair to support him.
I saw that, Brian. That's very cool, by the way.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Welcome, Kevin. What's up, my
Kevin.
man?
Hey, Kevin. You have to unmute yourself.
Oh, is he muted?
Yeah.
Welcome.
There you go. There you
Hey,
go.
everybody. How you doing?
Turn your
Kevin.
on your computer, if you're watching the video, turn down
Was he muted?
the volume on YouTube
Welcome.
so it's not echoing.
Hey, everybody.
So it's not echo.
Turn your on your
So you hear me twice.
watching the video. Turn down.
We got a little echo going there, huh?
Yeah.
Andy, I saw your video today. I really liked it a lot.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. That's what and Mike kind of talked about this in his video yesterday about how, we kind of wanted, or, he did, and then I saw that, and I was kind of wanting to, maybe give like a little bit more of a story that goes along, with the cards instead of just like, hey, here's the card, and, be on our way. So, yeah, just trying something new. So appreciate it, man.
What do you think about Russ with the Rockets? Like, are you still going to collect his Rockets cards, or are you still just aiming for like his OKC stuff?
Yeah, I know it's like the Prism Golds. Like I've been trying to kind of do that run of Prism Gold, so I've definitely try to get that one, but I don't know about other guys.
I think Norman just heard Kevin's cat on his video.
Oh wow, okay.
And thinking it was some. That's too funny.
So we got animals in conflict.
We have some good questions coming in here.
So Kevin, what type of stuff do you collect?
Well, I'm a returning collector. I collected a lot from probably 1985 to about 1992, and then I just literally stopped overnight. And then I came back briefly in about 1998 and collected for a year or so. Dropped out again, was just overwhelmed by all the products, and the hobby had changed so much. I came back again in the early 2000s and just was doing Packers team sets at the time. And then this spring, I don't know, I've been selling off most of my collection for probably over the last 2 years. I've been selling off a lot of stuff, and then still sell things here and there, but I've been collecting. I watched Mike's video on the Last Card Hall of Famer series, and I've been really working on that almost exclusively probably since about April, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm sticking with his original list that he did, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm running out of cheap guys. Unfortunately, I'm a little picky with what I want to get. But also I've been getting a tiny little bit of the newer stuff, not a lot. It's just not as, I don't know. 2019 has been a special year, I think, for the newer product. I'll kind of feel an attachment to it, but I'll pick up stuff here and there. But I've been kind of going back recently and picking up like some like cool refractors from the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
I've just really been enjoying it. And then just really stuff. I like eye appeal. And I like cards that kind of look like little pieces of art. And that's generally what I look for when I'm buying a card. And I get guys that I like.
Awesome,
that's
man.
kind of where I'm at with it. My primary focus is definitely that last card Hall of Famer set, but also Packers. I've been going back and working on some of the older stuff. I picked up some beautiful 1952 Bowman Packers when I was up in Wisconsin over Thanksgiving, and I didn't know they made ones that were like the size of the 52 tops, and they're just beautiful cards. But that's kind of where I'm at. Just look for stuff that I like, really. Eye appeal and how nice a card or series looks. That's where I'm at.
I'll ask you one more question, then I'll let these other guys hop in. So you said you're like a big Packers guy, and I like the Packers also. But the question I was going to ask you is like, are you aware of Scotty Tradition, Scott's channel? Then,
I've seen that. I've seen it pop up in recommendations, but I haven't really watched too much.
You'll love it.
Check him out.
I'm blown away by this community. It's amazing.
He's a huge Packers guy, man. You'll love his stuff. So yeah. Well, yeah, it's nice to meet you, Kevin. I appreciate you jumping on with us here, and I'll let these other guys do some talking now.
Yeah, one last thing, I totally lucked out on Rodgers. I was collecting heavily Packers stuff around 2005, and I was getting Rodgers cards as an afterthought. Just working on my Packers team sets. I mean, we were all in Favre land. And we were all actually a little irritated that they drafted Rodgers. So that's one guy I just stumbled into and got lucky with. So it's been kind of nice.
Congrats on that.
Yeah. But it's nice to meet all you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Kevin, I'm excited, man, that this is the first time I think I've seen you. Like you commented on my videos all the time, and I appreciate it. And I'm glad you are doing the Last Card Hall of Famer. It's way more fun than I think people would if they just got into it. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, you want to update that spreadsheet?
I need to. Yeah, we got some new Hall of Famers. I have a spreadsheet of it it's a Google Doc, so it's open to the public, right, Kevin? I think it is. So yeah, we got some new Hall of Famers to put on there, and we'll have some more in January. So yeah, I'm glad that you're doing that. Awesome.
Just super nice to meet all you guys, and just what a great community. Really cool. This is what it's all about. So
nice to
everyone
meet you,
except those back pages is great. Other than that, they're all fantastic.
Kevin, what's the next card that you're chasing for your set?
The next card I'm chasing for myself, I'm looking for a really nice. Well, there's two. Looking for a really nice 56 Jackie Robinson. That's one I'm looking for, 56 tops. I'm looking for a 62 Yaz. That's just for my personal Yaz PC that I had.
That's when I was a kid. That's a high number.
And then I'd like to get one of those LeBron James Hollow cards, Disco Prisms from last year. I saw Eric on those back pages showing that card, and it's super cool. And that's actually one I've been kind of looking for. I'm a little all over the place, but primarily the 56 Robinson is my main one I'm looking for, and like a 6 or a 7. There it is.
There it is, right there.
Beautiful. Hey, send that my way, Mike.
Sure. It's in the mail tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to just hang, and if you guys have anything you want to ask or kick me out or whatever, that's fine, but I'm going to mute myself. So,
well, how about do you mind if this is going to sound crude, but I'm not trying to be. I'm going to kick you off, and we can get somebody else on here, and they can talk about themselves, and I love it, though. I appreciate you doing this, Kevin.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
thanks for jumping in, Kevin. Nice to meet you, man.
Good to meet
Peace,
you.
everyone.
I think
Look forward to hearing.
Blackstock Poetic was on there. Did you see that, Andy?
I know the comments are like flying by. Like I have my phone down here, and
okay, we got Big Harv. Anything else you want to talk about? What have you been getting, Brian? Anything?
On Thursday, I'm getting a package from Heritage, a Heritage auction win. And then either Thursday or Friday, I'm going to get a package from Andrew. He picked a card up for me at the Philly show and sent it today in the mail. So I'll get that soon, which I'm really excited about. I love when people like send me stuff, like pictures of things from shows, because my collection is so specific. And it's not easy to find a card of his at shows. And when people find them, it just like shows me that like people are looking out for me, and I like to look out for people too. So it really makes me feel good.
So obviously, Brian, we know who you collect, but if there's anybody out there that's like watching, go ahead and tell everybody like who you focus on in your collection.
Yeah. So I'm a Hank Greenberg super collector. Jason, thank you. I'm not wearing a robe. It's a cardigan. It has buttons here. You see.
That's awesome.
It's very comfortable though. I focused for a long time on every single Hank card, and then only recently refocused my collection to strictly vintage. So I'm really only collecting his contemporary cards issued between 1934 and I don't know 1941 or so.
Dude, you're killing me.
So yeah.
Now there is I've watched your videos for a while, and there is one specific modern day guy that you've been focusing on a little bit lately. So let's hear a little bit about that.
Yes. Yeah, I thank you, Andy, for reminding me, because I honestly
Before
keep
you talk about that though, Big Harv, I sent you an email with a link. So go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I'm focusing a lot on Fernando Tatis Jr. I looked a lot at his, in his abbreviated season, and extrapolated that over 162 games. If he were to have stayed healthy, and the dude's a beast. Like his athleticism is off the chart. Hey, Big Harv.
What's up, Big Harv?
Writer, I actually have a Sandy Koufax rookie that I bought this year. I'm really happy about. Maybe I can grab that and show it. Give me just 1 second.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Brian, you got a question from Writer 1984 here.
Oh, my next video? It'll be this week. I'll show my Heritage buy, and when I get the card from Andrew, I'll show that like in the same video. I'll probably do like a video a week or so.
And then, Mike, I saw the other comment you put up there. I'm not sure who it was that asked, but who's going to win the West in the NBA? I'm going to say the Clippers.
I'm going to say the Mavericks. And Brian just left.
The Mavericks?
I'll be right back. I'm just grabbing the card.
All right.
Mike's going with the true homer.
No doubt.
What's the most expensive card from the last Card Hall of Famer set? Let me pull that up so I can look.
Okay, while you're pulling that up, so Big Harv, nice to meet you. Thanks for jumping on. So what kind of stuff do you collect?
My main things that I'm collecting, I only do baseball, but the main things I collect is I do a team collection. I'm an A's fan, as you can see with the stuff in the background. And then I also do McGuire's my main PC, and then I also do some Arenado and Tommy John because I just got back into the hobby about a year ago and really wanted to get in and do something that got me the older vintage without going too far back. My wife was a player I'm starting to collect a few of his things slowly.
Okay, so who was that?
He was a catcher for the Red Sox, Yankees, Senators, only.
Okay, very cool.
1924.
Yes.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, and I've gotten a couple cards. Yeah, that's well. They only won once. They disappeared for St. Louis a few years, and ended up out here in California as a lawyer.
Actually, Scott, they went to the World Series in 25 as well. They just lost.
Yeah, but they only won it in 20.
Correct.
Awesome.
I can't remember to take out the trash, but I can remember that.
It's amazing the things that we can remember, right?
So New York Yanks fan 7 asked the most expensive card. It's got to be the Satchel Paige, I would think. 1953 tops.
Yeah.
Would probably be the most expensive card in a
However,
decent.
the most affordable Satchel Paige card, though, I will say.
Yes, and it's a gorgeous card too.
It's a great card.
I think I have one.
You should have one.
So what is the Satchel Paige, like, as far as mainstream cards go? Does he just have like the 2 tops and the 2 Bowmans? Is that right? Or no, there's
He has
the leaf also.
He has 48 Leaf, which is considered his rookie, which is like stratospheric.
Yeah.
And then he has the 49 Bowman and 53 tops.
Okay, that's right. No 52 tops then.
No, they didn't issue a card in him at 52. And NY Yanks fan, Ruth has a 35 4-1 Gaudy. He does not have a 1934 Gaudy. Yeah, that's the 53. Nice card.
Mine's a 5.
That is a beauty.
It's a great card.
So great questions.
You're gonna have to take over the comments, Mike. I think my phone is dying down here with the so you may have to like send out the invites.
Can you not see them on StreamYard?
No.
You can, Andy, you can toggle it over to see live comments.
Never mind. Okay, I can now. Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
So let me explain to everybody what we're doing here. This is open mic night. I had several people before. Now we got 50-something people in here that have wanted to come on live streams before. And hey, let me know when you're doing it. And so Andy and I were talking. If this goes well, it's my idea. If it goes bad, it's Andy's idea. But we're
okay.
But the idea is just to let people come on and kind of hang out with us. And so if you want to be in this, I'm going to start kicking people off after we're getting some more information from them, and then put your email in the comments below. You may have to kind of spell out dot or something or at, or so that it'll take your email in the comments. Otherwise, we'd love to. You got to have a camera and a mic, and we'd love to have you on here.
Yeah.
So Big Harv, do you have a YouTube channel where you put out content?
Yeah, I do. Actually, Big Harv is my screen name or the channel name.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, and
okay.
I do stuff slowly.
subscribe to
I'm
that.
not necessarily doing a lot. Doing some stuff actually. Mike commented on it just a couple days ago on one of his videos with Wicked Discounts doing his 25 Days of Christmas. It's been a lot of fun. It's kind of got me into doing stuff almost every day.
Awesome. I'll definitely I'll have to check out your channel.
Thanks a lot.
That's another good thing about this too, Mike, is we'll get to see some people's channels.
I thought you knew everybody, Andy. Come on.
I don't. I wish. I mean, I try. I try to know as many as I can.
All right. Brian, are you next to get kicked off?
I think so. But I'll show my 55 tops Sandy. The lighting is poor, but it's a nice 2.5.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
The only real problem with it is like this little surface defect on top of his hat. Like other than that, it's like so it's centered so well. It's a great card.
Didn't you? What was I going to say? Didn't you show that in the video already?
Yeah, months ago. It's from Burgundy.
Yeah. Hey, you and me and Burgundy's, man, right?
That's it. Thank you, guys. I'll get out so someone else can get in, but I'll follow on the video so I can comment and stuff.
All right, man. Thanks for coming.
Ryan,
Thanks for having me. It was really fun.
Yeah, quick and fun. What are you gonna do?
No doubt.
I know Waxpack. I know Lou wanted to get on, and Lou, put your email in there again. It's like the comments are so far gone, I can't find it. So
okay, so Lou's up next. I'll whenever he puts it in there, I will send one to him.
Scott, I want to tell you, man, I really enjoy your channel, by the way.
Thanks a lot.
I like just your personality. I like the stuff you show. I like how you talk about it. I mean, I think you do a great job. So.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. First timer, Rudy Alva. We got a first timer in here. Welcome.
I'm trying to find Wax Pack Poetics email here.
Hey, you just got a subscriber, Scott. Somebody just said they subscribed to you.
Yeah, a couple have popped up since your stream has started, actually.
There you go.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna check it out as soon as we get off of here. I mean, obviously everybody's saying good stuff about your channel, so I'm gonna definitely check it out.
Yeah, I actually picked up 2 since you've been on.
That's awesome.
That puts me to like 10.
7, who, by the way, I love his channel. Do people like year-in review card collecting videos? What do y'all think about that question?
I do. I like it. I definitely will probably do. I'll probably make one of those, and I definitely enjoy watching those because over the course of a year, I mean, as collectors, we're kind of scatterbrained. Like, I'll go back and watch some of these year-end reviews that people do, and it kind of like refreshes my memory. Like, oh yeah, I remember they got that. You know, you'll kind of forget what people have picked up, so you'll get this, and you get to see all the cool stuff together, like in one spot. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of those videos.
I think as a new collector, it's been great. Yeah, as a new collector, it's been great just to see some of the stuff, and it's overwhelming coming back to it now after 20 years, like a lot of other people in my age bracket, that there's just so much. It's overwhelming from all the different brands that are out there, and it's hard to keep track of what's coming out and what's what in any sense of the form. And when you have so many different products that come out every week, it seems like it's hard to keep track.
There are literally products coming out every week now. Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Scott. It can be overwhelming, and I rely on a lot of the box breakers on here, like Up North Collectors, guys like that. They do a great job of, they bust so much product, and that's a great way for me to go and kind of get an idea of what the product looks like and what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely. That? I think, yeah, I can see it. I think, yeah, the breakers, and that's kind of how I got started. Was actually I watched the Nate at Tops 85 401, and that's kind of how I learned a lot about what was going on with the community a little bit, and then a lot of the box breakers, including Jabs, because he does something with basically everything that comes out. And I actually, to answer Triple Crown 24's question, the biggest thing is actually the variety is an advantage as well. Plus also the different cards that we have now with the relics, the autographs being on card. It's not where you're taking a card to a game trying to hope you get an autograph from whatever player may be. And those are available. Plus the parallels that are out there are always a nice little addition as well. I think there are too many parallels. I mean, I've been working on a rainbow of just Prism cards, and there's 2 that I can't even get that are 10 and under. I have the 1 of 1, but I can't find the of 5 or the of 10. It's the serial number cards are nice, and when you have 20 different parallels of the exact same card, it's a little overwhelming and kind of annoying in some ways.
I think that don't quote me on this, but I think like in Prism basketball this year, I think I saw somewhere where there's like 40 different parallels. It's pretty crazy.
This year's Prism for Arenado, and I think I have 18 of the 20 different parallels, and that's just of the base Prism card. The portraits and the other subsets that are in that set, just of the base card in just color. And
I've noticed that, Scott, you're an A's fan, but you have this cool Arenado thing going on. Why are you doing the Arenado thing? Just curious.
I'm going to say just because getting back into it, I feel that he's probably one of the better players out there for what I like. And I actually have some family in Colorado, and outside of obviously going to be supporting my own team and third, I've always kind of like third baseman as well. I've been lucky where even though I'm an A's fan, we've had a long line of pretty good third basemen, including and back to even the 80s World Series team. So it's been a long line of them. And then Arenado just happens, in my opinion, be the best third baseman in the league right now. And that's why I went with him.
That's a great answer. I've got a couple of questions I want to answer. Greg says, Mike, do you have a 56 Matthews and 56 Lemon?
Of course he does.
Bob Lemon. And again, it's not cool that I have them. It's cool that I can find them. That's the cool part.
That's
I know right where they are.
I think it'd be harder to ask Mike if you had like a 2017 something. That'd be harder for Mike to find.
That would be no. Here's another question, Mike. Regarding Hall of Fame autographs, do you get discouraged that there are some you can never own, or is that not something you much care about? It does not discourage me. I can't control that these guys were like born in the 1880s, and it's impossible. There's about 50 guys. I don't know the exact number, but it's around 50 that are just absolutely forget about it. And on my list, my checklist, they're all red. Like I don't even try. So no, I get what I can get. Don't throw a fit, So let's welcome in Lou.
Lou, what is up, my man?
What's up?
Scott, can I kick you off?
Absolutely.
Or not because I don't love you, but we're going to talk to Lou now. Thanks so much. Was this fun?
Yeah, it was great. I think it's a great opportunity to get out there and interact with some of the people that have been around for a while in the community and also in the collecting world.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. And,
very nice to meet you, Scott, and I'll definitely be checking out your channel, man.
All right. Thanks, Andy.
All right, Harvey. All right, let's see. I'll take you off there. You can just close your.
So, Lou, the last time I saw you, we were at the National with Mr. Mike over here.
That's right.
We were in line helping him out get some autographs. You remember that?
Yeah, man. I haven't gotten car. I actually just bought a couple things. I was forced to take a little bit of a sabbatical because from July until about October, I kind of went nuts with buying cards. And, the wife wasn't not that she wasn't too happy, but she was like, you got to take a break for a minute. I know. So,
yeah.
So I did other things. I've been working on my baseball room here. As you can see, I got all my Mets autographs there. I got nice new TV. And then I did this too.
Oh, very nice.
Cool. Monty Irvin and Duke Snyder that I picked up at National. I'm still doing a couple other things, but I just bought my first item in about 2 months, and I got a Mike. I immediately thought of you when I did this. I found another Great Moments Mickey Mantle signed. It's not PSA, it's a JSA, but PSA New Jersey's having an event for Toys for Tots on Friday, and I'm right there, so I'm going there. I got it for $190.
I don't like you anymore.
This thing is beautiful. I think. Let me see if I can show. From the pictures I saw on eBay, it should be here tomorrow. But I mean, this. There it is. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Oh yeah.
It's really, really good. So I was watching this one for a while, and I guess maybe guy needs money for the holidays, or he's just trying to move it, and it dropped in price. It started out like over 300, and then one day I was driving to work. I get up really early in the morning, and I got a message that he sent me an offer of $190. I jumped on it. I couldn't buy it fast enough.
You couldn't hit the accept fast enough.
Right.
Huh?
So that's my official Christmas present.
So JT Triple Crown 24 makes a good point here in the comments. He says, never a bad thing to take a break, allows us to take a moment to appreciate the cards we already have. It's a good point, JT.
That is a good point. Because I was like, so when around National, I just kind of got back into it. So it gets overwhelming, you know what I mean? And there was just so much I wanted, and I was just grabbing everything that I could almost. And it got to a point where like it was a little unorganized. It got a little out of hand. So now like I was able to really organize what I do have a little bit better and get ready to send some ungraded things that I've owned over the years in to get them graded. The PSA set registry is like crack, man. It's like I can't get enough of it. Like every day I find something new that I want to start, and I haven't finished, so I'm jumping all over. I have like I'm probably like 12 sets that I'm working on right now, which is just ridiculous. But I don't know. Do you guys ever find that you jump around from thing to thing, or do you know?
Yeah, I do. I think, Mike he's the exception to the rule here. I think he's like, but I mean, it's weird though, because with Mike, like, it's like he's focused, but he has so many different projects going on. So he doesn't really, like, he is jumping around, but he's got it all going at the same time. I think, yeah, like with me, I tend to go through phases. And it can be, because I collect, baseball, basketball, football. So for me, sometimes it's seasonal. Right. Like what you see in front of you, that's kind of what I tend to gravitate towards, which is, always the worst time to buy is like during the season when these guys are hot and everything,
Right. Yeah. I don't know. So right now I jump around pretty much from Hall of Fame autographs. Then I'm doing the Mike Payne's 300. But then the thing I think I really like is the 100 cards of the 80s, which is because those are all the cards I had as a kid. So those are the three main ones I'm working on. But then I'm trying to buy like a lot of Brooklyn Dodgers and New York Giants, because as you can see, I'm a Mets fan. My grandfathers were one was a Dodgers fan, one was a Giants fan. So I remember all those stories of them. And then another thing I've been working on, I want to show everybody quick. I know I'm talking a lot here, but I found this cool frame. So one thing that my dad and I and now my sons and stuff we've been trying to do is see a game in every stadium. And my dad is this is for my dad for Christmas. I'm working on it, getting all the pictures. He is 4 away, and he plans on seeing those 4 this summer. So my siblings and I are going to present this to him with all the pictures in it for Christmas. So
is Texas one of them he's missing?
No, he went to Texas last summer. Last summer he went to Texas. Not last summer, probably like last May. Because he wanted to get that one in before because you're getting a new stadium, right?
Well, I'm personally not.
No, sell some of that stuff you got hanging on the wall. You might be able to get one.
I might be able to buy in with the team. Here's a question: how long have you all been in the hobby?
Well, for me, like
whoever.
I started in 1987, so I would have been 8 years old. So 32 years, basically. Maybe a year or two off, like during my college and high school years, but pretty consistent since I was 8.
Yeah, I started about the same age. I was like 80, 85, 86 for me. I was like 7, 8 years old. But I really got into it 88. I was 10, and that's the first set that I finished, like buying packs and stuff, was 88 Tops, which is another thing I want to do is all the 88 Tops Hall of Famers. another set registry thing I just started too. And I did that into probably the mid 90s. And then I, discovered girls and got away from cards for a while. And then, I had kids, I had a family, and then I would collect through the years here and there, but I didn't really have the time or the money, to spend. And now that once I hit 40, I was like, you know what, I'm going to start picking things up again. And I started with Topps Heritage because I do like the opening of the packs and stuff like that and building the sets. And then I just started getting into like buying old cards. I was going to just buy old cards that I grew up with, PSAs. And then before I knew I was buying manuals and just making my wife mad.
Yeah.
How about you?
With it.
Let's see. Andy, are you looking at all these questions? Good grief.
I'm seeing some of, yeah.
Okay. Joey Henson. Dude, if you said you wanted to get on here, if you want to get on here with us and you have a camera, put your email in here and we'll send you the link. And that'd be fine. If you want to ask some questions here, and you could also get some feedback there are tons of great YouTubers in the chat here.
Yeah.
All of us can help, because his question is, he's returning to the hobby after 20 years, thinking about starting a channel, trying to wedge into an already abundant product.
Ooh, I can answer that, since that was pretty much me, even though I haven't made a video in a while. But
do you have a channel anymore, or what?
I do. I haven't. I'm actually, after the holidays, I'm revamping some things. I'm gonna I didn't really have content because I didn't really have new cards. I don't have a huge collection, but I'm going to do like a podcast type thing, because I put out podcasts too in my spare time. And I'm going to change some things up. I didn't really have a direction, but I think I do now. Okay. But me, I was out of hobby for a while. I decided to do it. I started with a blog, then I started just putting out videos. And I just want to tell, I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but these guys are awesome. This community is great. I still, I talk to a lot of guys. I still check out everybody's videos and stuff. And it's there's a lot of people in the community, but I haven't met one bad person. And everybody is very helpful, welcoming. So if you're going to do it, just do it. And, people will, Mike was a big help. Andy too. It just was it's just a very welcoming community. So if you're going to do it, my advice is just go for it.
The more the merrier.
Bring it on.
It's like, we're kind of like this little, it's like a niche thing. So a lot of us, in our everyday lives, we don't really have a lot of, friends or family that collect. So this is kind of like a place where, you can go to watch and, meet like-minded people. And it's just been tremendous. I think, I want to say in January, it'll be like 2 years since I actually started making videos. I was watching videos for, probably a couple of years prior to that. And, it's a great place. I would recommend, if you want to start a channel, just do it.
We're going to get Mr. Henson on here.
Gotta get Eric on too. Is he in the comments? I can't see him from
Eric's here, but we chat with him all the time. He
love Eric. He's the best.
Eric's the best.
So I just sent an email to Joey. So Joey, check your email. There was another question from.
Oh, Mike, you got to put the card closets question up there.
Which one?
At the bottom.
Oh, hold on. They're all happening. Andy.
How much are you offering? No, that would be my response to that.
Yeah. So where is it? Okay. Great discussion and info. Reese ND, who I don't know, but glad you love it, man. Once you connect. It's about connecting, right? And once you make connections, it makes the hobby really so much better. I don't even know how to describe it. In fact, I was talking to Dave Blue Jacket 66 the other day. Hey, Joey.
What's up, Joey?
Wow.
And so Dave and I were talking, and I've been kind of going through a little bit of a funk. Maybe is not the right word, but because the national, you're on such a high, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like super high, and you're hanging out with everybody, and it's like this brotherhood, and it's indescribable. If you've never been to the national, Eric will tell you every video that he ever does, but you need to go to the national. But it is so cool, and it's indescribable of what it's like. And I promise you'll never collect it the same again. You'll never watch YouTube the same again after you meet all these guys and you actually get to meet them and go like, these are pretty nice guys. Everybody's cool. Like you said, Lou, have you met a bad guy yet?
No, it was great.
They're all super great. So Joey, welcome to my channel, man.
Hey, man, it's an honor. It's been a lot of fun discovering you guys and just getting back into this hobby that I loved so much as a kid. And, man, it is different. It is different. Coming out of the junk wax era, it is totally different.
Well, tell me your story a little bit. Tell me your background. I don't know your history a whole lot.
Right. So I collected just as a kid. Probably, I think the first year that I really remember being involved in the hobby was '88. I just remember that year in particular is like my first year really getting involved. And from there it was through my teenage years. And when I got to college, I just kind of got out of it like a lot of us do. And other things become more important. And I have a son now, 6-year-old, and he loves the game. And that's kind of gotten me back into the hobby a little bit. I had a buddy of mine that, unloaded a ton of stuff on me, unopened packs and things. And Mike, I don't know if you remember, but I contacted you. I pulled a DiMaggio out of the '92 score. Had one box and pulled the DiMaggio, and of course that hooked me. After that, I'm just like, hey, let's go. So
I remember because I actually had your email in my email still from when we were talking about that.
Right. I've used it recently to kind of build my PC back up a little bit because I'd gotten rid of everything.
You sell it?
I didn't sell it. No, it was just like I talked to with you, just trying to trade it for some cards, just to build some iconic cards of stuff that I wanted when I was a kid and I never had. And so I got quite a haul for it for sure.
You could have traded it to me for dollar bills.
No, sorry. You've got one, right? So it would have been your second one. You're going to try to complete the set.
Yes, I have one, and no, I'm not going to try to complete the set. One's enough. But it's a great set. It's so cool. Pack pulled Joe DiMaggio autograph. I'm actually thinking about doing this new deal, the 100 greatest autographed cards of all time, of baseball cards, and that's one of them that's on my list. I've started my list, and that's one of the cards that's on.
It's your own list, Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to make it kind of like Mike Payne made his 300 great cards of the 20th century. I'm going to do the 100 great sports or baseball card autographs. They're all pack pulled, no, IP stuff, only stuff that's been inserted in packs. So
wow,
I just told you guys that. I'm still working on it, but
that's great.
So are you saying there could be a Mike baseball collector set registry in the future?
Oh my gosh, that would be crazy.
Any app developers out there? Let's do
it. Yeah.
How do you guys keep a happy marriage with the hobby? Because I don't have like an unlimited income. So and it's expensive nowadays, fellas. It really is. So my wife is rolling her eyes every time that I talk about cards. Every time I try to Look, buddy. Let me tell you something. I'm having to use a secondary card to get some to buy some cards here and there, and she's just busting me right and left. And
yeah, I get it too. She's actually not too bad. Every so often, yeah, she pulls the reins in on me because, like I said, I went bonkers for like a month and a half after national and at national. Yeah, just like I find though, like I have 2 sons. One is 20 years old and one is 8. And I always, every time I did it, I kind of did it with them. So it's like, she has her own hobbies and stuff. So it's like, I don't bother her about hers and she doesn't bother me about mine, as long as I don't drag her to card shows.
Listen, and that's I'm sure you're not buying. I mean, I'm getting the nth degree about spending $12 on some 2016 clearance packs at Walmart. So
you'd be surprised, man. It depends. Like I mean, it's funny because I actually get. I mean, my wife has known me for over 23 years, so it's like. She understands. We're a baseball family. She knows the deal. So like the older stuff that I buy, like at National, I bought a Ted Williams autograph. She is actually kind of less on my case about stuff like that because it's stuff I can leave to my sons. You know what I mean? So, but I get I was redoing my baseball room. And I bought a bunch of Mets autographs, and she was just like, really, like enough's enough. Like every day, like there's 10 things coming in the mail here. So,
Joey.
Yes, sir.
Who better to ask?
Oh, the boss.
Well, I remember you made a video not too long ago about this very thing, didn't you? I think I remember seeing that.
Yes.
So, is there a lot of eye rolling going on there?
There are some eye rolls. Yes, there's some. I'm like, oh my gosh. There's a big hunk of wood right now over here that I was like, what the heck?
It's called the Beast.
Oh, the Beast.
Beast. This big picture thing.
Oh, the Hank Aaron signed Beast?
Yeah, like,
Hank Aaron. That guys, that's the next thing I'm going to be doing right there. I'm starting in 76.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to work my way back, get an Aaron for every year. He was my idol growing up. I'm a Georgia boy. I know you can't tell that by my accent. So, but I'm a huge mark for Hank Aaron, and want to start a collection of his cards next. I think.
Good place to start.
That's a great guy to collect right there.
And condition really doesn't matter to me. And as I'm looking at all the sold auctions on eBay, it looks pretty affordable, all the way back to say maybe 56, 55, 54. It's when it starts getting a little pricey, even for stuff that's not in great condition.
Oh man, I don't know about that. That dude's definitely married, bro.
Wayne's not married. There's no way Wayne's married.
You're not saying no shit like that. If you I don't mean to curse. You're not saying nothing like that if you're married, man.
Well, I talked about a possible YouTube channel. This sounds like this is it right here, right? I mean, we could call it something like collecting with wives or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
I did one of my early videos. An incredibly popular video was an interview with the wife of a baseball card junkie, and I sat with Julie and asked her questions for like an hour. All these questions that I got, I solicited questions from the community. They would, type in questions on other videos, and I would just sit there and ask her all these questions. It was a great video.
Is that still up? I don't think I saw that one. Is that a while ago?
Way long, like within the first year of my channel starting, so a long time ago.
Well, guys, I'm not married, so I go nuts year round.
I was just about to say, like, very lucky man, but
yeah, I'm not saying that. I thought about it.
Yeah, you guys
might be in the next room listening in. So
yeah, you guys just probably need to stay silent on that.
Yeah, but if that was me, I would be living in my parents' basement because I wouldn't be able to afford anything. Because I would just, you know, I'm a big kid in a lot of ways, and so I'll admit, like I need to be babysat sometimes. I can't be trusted.
Right. I see some of the guys in the comments like, "I'm with you, Andy. Heck yeah!" You know, like you can tell from the comments who's
Now,
married.
which one is that one, Mike? Is that
This is the legend one.
the legend? Okay, yeah, I had the MVP year. That's tremendous.
And it's a Jim Mint 10 on the auto, 9 on the card.
See, that's something else I was going to ask you. You experienced guys is you know, when I got out of collecting, what was grading? I mean, it was you stuck it in a top loader and that was it. You know, and now I come back and seeing, you know, PSA and Beckett and all these different grading companies and things. And if you're coming back into the hobby and you want to get some cards graded, I mean, what's the most economical way to do that?
Well, there's some guys in this community that will do group submissions, and what they do is they'll gather enough cards together where you can get a little bit better rate by submitting the cards in bulk. I know me and Mike, we've been submitting with our friend Dane, who's Card Tech 710. I know Mike O does some group submissions. So there's definitely some trusted guys out there that you could use for that, and that'll get the price down a little bit lower than if you were just like, you know, going to send in a few cards yourself.
Andy, here's my stack going to Dane.
Okay. I was asking him the other day, like how many we had, and he said that we were about at 80. So I was like, I'll send you 20 then so we can get over 100.
I got 40-ish.
Okay.
Well, so if it's typically what, $20 a card, if I wanted to send in $25 a card?
No, like when you send in 100 or more, like in this submission we're doing, it's going to be about $8 a card.
$8 a card. Wow.
That makes it much more reasonable on some lower end. Like there's cards here that if it was $25 a card, I wouldn't be grading them. Heck
Right.
no. But at $8 a card, some of the guys $8, $9, $10. It just, they all have overhead and time, you know. So the bulk cost is $8 if you're a member of PSA. If you have over 100 cards, but I'm a member, but I'll never have. And Andy, are you? I can't remember if you are or not.
I am, but I'm kind of like what you're saying. Like I'll never have like 100 cards of my own. So once
I don't want to run a group submission, so I don't have the time or want to jack with that. So Andy and I are grateful that Dane's willing to do that for us. As really as a favor is what he's doing, and
because I mean it is a lot of work, and I know Mike O does them, and I mean he does like, you know, big submissions where that's got to be like a ton of work to, you know, get all those cards together and shipped back out to everyone.
Yeah.
So David says my issue is turnaround time for bulk submissions. I can tell you that's just simply not true. Ours, how long did ours take, Andy? The last one, 2
6
weeks, 3 weeks? Maybe? Yeah, 3 weeks maybe. It wasn't long at all.
I have had some that have taken a long time, but then that's one of the biggest complaints you hear about PSA is there's really no rhyme or reason to the way they do things. Like I've had, you know, 20-day submissions that take longer than a bulk submission. Like they were sent at the same time and you'll get the bulk submission back first. There's really no rhyme or reason to the way they do it. I mean, they charge you based on certain tiers, but there's no guarantee on when you're going to get them back.
Now, Joe, this was the same question that I asked when I got it. I asked Mike this. I don't know, Mike, if you remember. This is one of the first questions I asked you. I
tried to get everything you've asked me, but go ahead.
Don't worry, there'll be more. So really, I ended up liking PSA mostly because of the set registry. But what I was doing at first, they're bigger. I like the way they look, but I don't like the registry, and the registry is a lot of fun. But if you're really looking to be economical and it's for your personal collection, the SGC, they're quick and they're economical. Like I don't really collect other sports. I have a few like Peyton Manning rookies and stuff like that. I sent those to SGC, $10 a card. You can even pay $20 a card what PSA is and get it back in like 5 days or something like that if you want. So that's something. If you're gonna buy older cards, especially and Mike taught me this, when you start getting into those like vintage Aarons, the 60s and the 50s, save up and if you got it, and look and buy the PSAs or any graded, because there are a lot of counterfeits out there.
The only graded card I bought was a Dale Murphy rookie card. Again, condition. I sound like such a noob, man. When I'm sitting here looking at a card, how do you guys determine if you're willing to lay down that kind of jack to get it graded? Because I'm sitting here looking at an 89 Griffey and it looks great.
I know,
but
I only buy it graded.
Shy about trying to send it off.
Only buy it graded.
If you got a Griffey, I mean, that would be a card that I would say, regardless of what it grades, unless it's going to be like a 1 or a 2, if you spend $20 to grade it, I mean, it's going to be worth $20. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. Like if it's
that's exactly what I'm talking about, Luke. Because I get on eBay and I'm looking at people selling graded cards that I know maybe they did it like you guys and got a cheaper rate, but there's the cards are selling for less than it costs to get them graded, and according to my limited knowledge.
Right.
I don't know if that's just them making a mistake on choosing the card or what the deal is, but I definitely don't want to lose money.
No, a lot of times what happens on those cards is like whoever sent that in probably thought it was a 10, and that that was their intention was to get a 10 and resell it, and it didn't come back a 10, so now they're just trying to recoup what they can. Because a lot of times like 9s and 8s and stuff, it depends on the card, but some of those cards, it's not going to sell for as much as the cost of the grading will be.
Right. See, and because I'm a Braves guy, I always wanted that Murphy rookie, and I bought it as a PSA 5. I mean, it was $15. So.
Buy the card, not the grade.
Right. And that's exactly what I think about it.
That's what I do. I buy a little bit lesser grades, especially with some of the older cards that I like. I bought a 65 Mantle, and I got a good deal on it, and I bought a 2 because it was what I could afford, and I just looked for a good 2 or 3. What I was looking for, I found one I liked, and I bought it.
All right.
Appreciate that. I've got 1 sub already.
Joey's got the fans.
Watch out, guys. I'm coming for you.
Subscribe to it too. What's your channel, Joe?
I don't have one yet. I don't. We started one for my son because I heard about this Ryan kid that made like $1 gazillion. Making like toy review videos. So we started doing that. I think we have 8 subscribers, and it's been 2 years. So they're all family members too. So
you're right on track.
Now you got COPPA, so you can't even do that anymore.
Right. And I don't know anything about all of that, so I'll have to definitely do my research about COPPA.
All right. So there's a lot of guys on here probably that don't know what we're doing even still, but the idea is open mic night, just getting some different guys on here. Ryan Hot Corner Collection. I don't think I have Ryan's email. I'd love him to get on here. If you don't know his channel, I think you'd really like to hear. He's got some really cool stuff. But if anybody wants to join in, just stick your email in the comments down below, and we'll send you the link, and you can come join us. I'm getting my phone is blown up too by guys that are on the chat that are texting me.
Oh yeah.
Just telling me how cool this is, and this is a great idea, and I think they're lying to me, but that's all right.
So Joey, like going back to like you said you pulled that DiMaggio,
yeah,
and you kind of like you were collecting like kind of around that same time period that I was. So I was going to ask you, like, did you open a lot of 91 Donruss, and if you did you ever pull one of the elites?
I did. It was
because I never pulled it.
It was 90. Was it 93? Was the first year of the Elite Series?
91s.
I don't think it was 91. I mean, there's those cards that you remember pulling, and it was a Howard Johnson.
Okay.
Howard Johnson Elite Series. So I didn't mean to downplay that, Lou. Sorry, I didn't mean to downplay that. Hojo. But it wasn't Griffey. It wasn't Thomas. Those were the two guys. Those were really the only two guys that I was worried about. I had to own the 89 Upper Deck Griffey, which I now have, the 90 Leaf Thomas. I mean, those were $100 bills back in the day, and worth a fraction of that now. I couldn't believe it. I did pull. I pulled an Elite. I pulled when Tim Salmon won the Rookie of the Year. He had some autographed cards in Fleer. I pulled a Tim Salmon back in the day. But those are probably the biggest pulls I ever had up to the DiMaggio.
Well, man, if I ever get a box of anything, I want you to open it for me because
I'm telling you, it's surreal because I've seen people on YouTube that are buying, they're buying cases of the stuff and opening and not hitting one. So I was very fortunate. It was I want to say it was only the 37th card I think that he had signed.
Wow,
that's amazing. Yeah, those Elites, those were tough to pull back then.
All right, I just sent the link over to Brandon's baseball cards. He put his email in there. So Lou, I'm kicking you out. Go.
It's good to talk to you guys again. I'll
peace, Lou. Looking forward to some videos, man.
All right. Real soon after the holidays.
Hey, Lou, I appreciate the marriage advice too, buddy.
All right, Joe. Take care, man. I'll be looking out for you.
Thanks, bud.
See you guys.
All right. See you, Lou.
All right, there goes Lou.
That was good to catch up with Lou, man. I haven't seen him around much lately.
I know he's been kind of Mr. Incognito, but that happens, people, and it's okay to take breaks and to chill out. And that's the big thing. I think Joey, here's a piece of advice for you, man. If you come and make a channel, pace yourself, dude. Don't feel like you got to just, right? It takes time to build a following, to build a channel, and don't get discouraged. Just keep a nice pace, a video a week at the beginning or a couple videos a week. And, I see guys start up and are all hot and heavy and they burn out and they run out of stuff to talk about. And,
right.
Don't do that. So everybody's wanting to know what your channel is. So it doesn't exist yet.
Exist yet. No, but it's nice that folks are asking about it. If they have any great ideas, I'd love to hear them. I would like to share with you kind of what actually got me back in exactly was a friend of mine said, hey, I'm going to clean out the attic of it's one of those attic stories. I'm going to clean out the attic of my wife's grandmother had a brother that lived with her and was just into collecting stuff. Like he bought and sold. I mean, this attic was full of like those collector plates and like Beanie Babies and stuff. And then there were just boxes and boxes of complete sets, unopened wax boxes, like the first year of like the Flair series, just all kind of stuff. I mean, there was Bowman's Best box. I mean, there was just probably 20 or 30 wax boxes just full of packs that he never got around to sell. That man, we'll talk about just nostalgia and deja vu all over again. It was a whole night worth of just ripping, and it was great. And that's really what hooked me back into it.
That's funny you said Beanie Babies. I think my mom and some of her friends back in the 90s thought they were going to retire off of their Beanie Baby collections, and didn't work out for us, did it?
So, Joey, how'd you find YouTube and collecting, sports card collecting on YouTube?
Honestly, it was around the same time. I mean, I think Jabs was probably the first one I ran across, and then Mike, I ran across you, and then through you, Andy, I found you and several others. So, I mean, really, it was kind of a domino effect. Just now I'm following everybody I can now.
Good old YouTube algorithm.
That's Recommend.
It.
Yeah.
Joey, can I kick you off and we'll talk to Brandon here? I got some other guys
Hi,
lining
everyone.
up.
I should
But, is that okay?
introduce
Hey,
myself.
absolutely, guys. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to y'all tonight.
Joey, it's nice to meet you, man. Looking forward to your channel.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, see you, bud.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Brandon.
What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good,
So
man.
So
we're learning something
I'm
about
also
we do this on with
relatively
phones,
new
very well.
channel. So I'm, any tips or anything you guys have or anything like that. I myself out initially. I did a lot of videos really quickly. And I just and I took a month off. November, it wasn't just because I wasn't buying cards. I just stopped. I just was like, I don't want to do this right now. It's kind of hard sometimes. I don't know. Do you guys ever find yourselves getting burned out?
Well, I think kind of like what Mike just talked about.
Yeah.
It's in the beginning. I think when you first start your channel, and this is the way it was for me anyway, it's like you're kind of so excited about it. You're like, I've got all this stuff to show, right? I want to show it all as quickly as I can and all this stuff.
Sure.
And you kind of get ahead of yourself. And it's a good idea to pace yourself because it's easy to get kind of burned out and run out of things to show and talk about if you just kind of dive in there.
Yeah. Well, and there were a few points where I was browsing eBay and I started to get there. Well, if I buy this, it'll look good on the channel. And I was like, that's not good. That's not a good approach here. I think I need to pump the brakes. Shouldn't be buying something for a channel, so that's when I took November off, or most of November. I didn't make it to the end, but I don't know.
So there's a YouTube to Hall of Famer right there, Top 85401, Nate, saying sometimes you need to let I think he means marinate, not marinade, but just space them out. This is a long game. You should think about how your channel is going to be over the long term, not, it ain't about making money. It is about making friends. And so
I'm having sound trouble. I can barely hear.
Yeah, you can barely hear you too, by the way. So,
and that's a great point by Nate, because what happens is if you're putting out so many videos in such a short amount of time, you have to think about this also. There's a lot of channels out there, so the more videos that you're putting out, it makes it less likely that each one of them is going to get viewed. Whereas if you spread them out more often, I think people will tend to kind of pay attention more.
Right, Mike?
That's maybe it's burnout too.
What's
people
up, fellas?
Don't want to. I mean, unless
Took
you
me
have a
by
lot of
surprise.
stuff to show off, why would?
What's up, Mike?
Why?
Hey, Andy. How are you?
Good, man.
I'm going to let Brandon, we need to talk off and talk about maybe a better way to do this, because it's really hard to hear you and your videos all kind of screwed all this stuff. Don't take it personal. I love you, but I'm kicking you off, and we'll talk soon. Okay?
It's good to meet you, Brandon.
No, good to meet you too.
All right.
See you. Okay, Mike.
What's going on?
By the way, Brandon if y'all wanted Brandon's baseball card, you just saw him, has a great channel, has done a lot of cool stuff. He does a lot of talking about the hobby, and I think it's great. Which y'all know I like talking about the hobby, but he does a good job. Go check his channel out.
Something that he said there really kind of resonated. Because that's a point that I know you've made, Mike, and I've heard a lot of other people, talk about this as well, is, don't go out and buy something just for the purpose of showing it on your channel. I think there's probably, I appreciate Brandon making that point, because I think there's probably other people out there that do that. And it's not going to end well. It's just a kind of a recipe for disaster if that's the avenue that you take. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, I got back probably in May, and that seemed to be the theme of a lot of guys' channels. It's like, just don't buy things just to make a video, because buy what you want, buy what you like. I think it was on here earlier. Collect the card, not the grade. Some people probably chase the video more than they chase the collection, and I don't know. My thoughts are just, if you're in this to collect, then it shouldn't matter what grade card you have. And I mean, hey, like, if you want to upgrade things and such, that's fantastic. But I don't think it's about. We're not in here to impress people because I got this and I got that, and it's not about the show off part of it. It's more like, hey, that's cool. That's something I haven't seen. Maybe that's something I want to collect. That's my thoughts.
It's not a dick measuring contest. It's just not.
Absolutely. If it was, I'd finish last.
That's great.
By the way, Ryan, I sent you an email for a link. But we talk about this a lot. We talk about it off YouTube all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the people we feel like that are doing that, and it's dangerous. Simply put, it's dangerous for yourself, and you get bored, or don't get bored. You get burned out, broke, divorced. Whatever might happen.
I've been through one already. I don't need another.
All right, guys, we got to shut this stream down because Mark is here, Stove Sports. So that's the stream.
So it's comedy night.
Yeah, once Mark gets here, all bets are. This is like Mark's milieu here because it's open mic night, and he should be the one.
He should have some whiskey and snacks.
Hold on.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Everybody take a drink.
So what's up, guys? I can't even.
Good stuff.
Oh, who did Mark really well on my contest?
Eric,
yes.
Eric did a great job eating the chips and munching and crunching. It was fantastic.
4-leaf cards, man. They let anyone in here. Look at that.
Yeah, they sure do. I bought the membership.
Your neighborhood's gone to hell when Stove Sports shows up. You might as well move, sell the house, take the kids out of school. Actually, we met Mark. We met Mark at the National. Fantastic guy. I mean, but I could say that about everybody, right? We could say that about everybody that's on here. Although there's some new guys on here that I don't know. Welcome to hanging out with us. The first open mic night. We're just kind of shooting the bull and letting different people come on. And this was kind of sparked by you, Mike, just so you know, because we were on you wanted to be on the other night. Hey, let me know the next time you're doing it.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I called Andy. I'm like, hey, let's do this cockamamie idea where we go live and invite people to come on with us. Like, I'm thinking to myself, oh, nobody will want to come on with us. And
no, it's great because it's a good roundtable discussion. You get different points of views, whether it's about collecting, YouTube, anything. And, a lot of guys, like the last guy you had on there didn't have a channel yet, but he's thinking about it. And, the more content, the better, right?
Yeah.
I like, people don't know, you guys do. I work from home, so like my TV's on all day while I'm working at my computer, and I just, hit play all and just go through. Sometimes I'll grab a channel and just watch all their videos. It's great.
I like Dave's comment. Did you see Dave's comment?
Which one? The comments are flying. I can hardly keep up.
He said, "Grown men sitting in basements talking to other grown men about baseball cards."
Absolutely.
That's us.
Yeah,
Just need some rock and roll, Dave.
I know, man. They'd probably boot us off here if we started playing some cool music.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Jason Garrett. Good Lord.
Yeah, we got 2 Cowboys fans here.
And they just released Brett Maher, the kicker.
Yeah.
He came from my hometown Canadian Football League club. That's probably why. He was playing for the Hamilton Ticats 2 years ago. And Garrett, I think something isn't working in Dallas. And, although their offense is great, their defense doesn't seem to be doing it. So usually what happens is someone's got to take the fall. I mean, they're not going to.
First off, the picture. I mean, just leave that pic. That's like the best picture.
Brilliant.
Leave it to Mark. Yeah, someone's got to take the fall. It's not going to be the players. I mean, you're not gonna shake up the team too much unless they implode it and trade everybody off and start from scratch. So I think if Jerry Jones holds true to his word, which who knows, Garrett will be gone as soon as they're eliminated, or even if they make the playoffs, which right now doesn't look too good. It's going to be them or Philly in that division that's getting in, and
depressingly true.
Yeah, and
some of these comments.
Thank you. Thank you. That'll get me close. I got another contest coming up at 200. So,
there's been great contests lately. I think Cuban Collector is paying people off because he's winning a lot.
Yeah, he's just he won that, and he won Dave's, and he won something else I seen. Ticket Leprechaun.
Yes, he won the baseball.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think about that idea?
Can we get open?
JT's trying to kick me off.
Same concept, only mics.
And that would be half the community could come on. I mean,
you could just do a rotation of us all.
Here you go, Mike. Here's a question for you.
My PC is the main focus. I mean, I love my mantle, but I don't know if you can see that. Yes.
Yeah.
Here, I'll make it bigger.
Yeah. How's this work?
That's
Carl
really
Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski's my PC. I do have some mantles. And yes, I'm Canadian, so of course I like hockey. I'm more passionate about baseball, but like right now, like you guys have touched on, things are kind of slow in the baseball world. So, I shift my focus over to hockey. Although it's intriguing. I watched Andy's video today about why he collects Westbrook, and that whole basketball. It's going crazy right now, Andy.
It is, man. It's basketball has become such a global sport.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the cards that are going for, huge money, like a lot of that stuff is going overseas. You'll hear a lot of dealers talk about how they can't even keep the new product in their store because they say as soon as it comes in, all of it goes overseas.
Unreal.
Big money coming in from over there. So yeah, it's fun, but it's challenging for sure.
Right. Do you think, Andy, that's going to have any effect on the market on basketball in the U.S.? Like, because so much of it's going overseas, is it going to be just when you go to nationals in years to come, do you think that's going to slowly affect the amount?
I've already seen it happening at nationals.
Right.
I saw way more basketball stuff in the last, couple of years at the national than I had ever before.
Right.
And prices, man. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it seems like, Mike, when we sat down in that lounge in Chicago at the National, when we were talking, before we were sitting down to talk, it seemed like everybody was just comparing what basketball cards they picked up or traded. And it just seems like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to be the new school compared to the old school. Like the younger kids are getting in at the basketball level more than, say, baseball.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, it keeps the market.
I think there's just more people coming into the hobby. I think.
Right.
I don't think kids. I think kids like basketball more, and
for sure.
I see David's. I saw David's question. I didn't want to interrupt when Mike was talking, but yeah, David, the actual name of the channel is "She Blinded Me with Refractors."
Greatest name on YouTube.
Greatest name on YouTube. The first time I met Andy at the National in 2018, right, Andy?
Yeah, 2018.
And, hey, because I hadn't met him before, and he came up and introduced himself to me, and she blinded me with refractors. And first thing I said to him, greatest name on YouTube. Like,
yeah,
that's the first thing I said to him ever. Yeah. Greatest name on YouTube.
Yeah,
name.
No doubt.
Going hello, Ed Westergriff, another YouTube Hall of Famer.
That's a good point that Ed makes in the comments too. Like there are, more investors are coming into the hobby, and a lot of the big money seems to be going towards basketball.
Yeah. Well, and it's the point you made about it being so global. I mean, I could make that argument for hockey that it's global. I mean, we started letting imports in the NHL over in the 80s, but not everyone can skate, so basketball is simple. Basketball is like soccer or European football, right? You just need a ball. You just need a ball and a net, and away you go.
I'm just reading these comments are great.
Comments are great. If y'all are watching this on playback tomorrow or the next day, or you need to be able to read the comments because they are fast and furious. Yeah. I will tell you though, Mike, especially lately, and I'm learning this from Aaron, that it's all about Trae Young, Luka, and Zion are pushing basketball to a level it's never seen before.
Yeah.
In terms of popularity. So
well, those guys, but also you've got LeBron, which LeBron, I mean, for a guy that is in like his 17th year in the league, I mean, LeBron stuff from last year is selling like crazy. And it used to be, people only paid big money for rookie cards in the past, but now you're seeing more and more of like these lower numbered inserts and hard to get cards. They're going for big money. And what's happening is like, let's say if there's a card out there that's, numbered to 50, right, of LeBron or somebody like that. I mean, people are grabbing those cards up and you just don't see them for sale again. So if there ever is one that comes to auction, I mean, like you've got so many people that are trying to grab that because they know that the ones that are locked up are just, they're locked up for a while.
And I think you've got hobby dollars going into a smaller pool of players, versus basketball versus baseball and certainly football, right? Or hockey. You've got 5 guys on the court at any given time. And really, each team's really only about 4 to 7 or 8 guys deep. Like in reality, not even all those are going to be hobby good. So the pool is so much smaller that. Well, I want to collect basketball. Who do you want to collect? LeBron or Luca. You know what I mean? They just
Or everybody.
be honest, or everybody, but everybody's not even that hard.
No.
I guess is my point.
That's another good one though that you just brought up, Mike, is Giannis. Like he's been on fire. Like he's got to be the favorite for MVP right now.
Do we have a Snoop sighting? Is Snoop here? Oh no, but look at that. Who's that?
Look at, he's just shaking his head. He wants to talk in the basement about baseball cards.
For an hour, y'all are so full of crap. I'm coming.
I knew it.
The record straight.
Yeah. This
What's
doesn't
up,
feel
Dave?
right, but okay.
Hey, Mike, I'm gonna kick you off.
Yeah, no problem. No
But I love
problem.
you.
Good
Mike.
talking to you guys.
Good talking to you, Mike.
Take care.
See ya. Hey, Dave.
Hey, I can't see any comments down below. How do I do that?
I don't think you can on your phone.
Okay. All right.
We can barely hear you. Do you have some do you have earbuds you can put in?
No. I can come closer though.
There you go. Yeah, let's see all of you. Yes.
That better?
Oh yeah.
Dave,
Yeah.
you are immediately the most interesting man in the room.
No, I'm not. I'm the most questionable man in the room, but yeah. Or controversial, but what's going on, guys?
Great contest, by the way, Dave, the other day. That was awesome. I mean, like when you came back and gave everybody like a second chance even. I mean, like you didn't give away enough stuff already.
Yeah, I thought about it the next morning. I was just sitting there and I don't know, it was cold. It was just, I don't know what. I just felt like, hey, we got to do it. So did it, was happy to do it. And it was really amazing that Ray won. I mean, he's a good guy and certainly deserving, but
He was one of your first advocate subscribers, wasn't he?
yeah, I have a list of my subscribers and he was definitely in the top 10. I know Nate was top 10 as well. So for sure. But so yeah, I was happy for him. He's really enthusiastic collector. I'm very much into collectors, of all sorts, modern or vintage and whatnot. So
Can you read that question, Dave?
Oh, sure. I guess if you ask fellow YouTubers what I collect, I know what they'd tell you. I collect food and beverage issues from the 1950s, 50s and 60s, mainly 50s. All the hot dogs issues, the meats issues, the hot dogs issues. Those are kind of my niche and kind of an area of expertise. If you look at some of my videos, that's what I buy. And I've got a couple irons in the fire for some really neat purchases coming up. But I also got a big mantle collection. I like those Hall of Famers from my early days of the late 60s, early 70s. But I collect a lot of pre-war vintage. I'm a Christy Mathewson collector, Cobb collector, Ruth when available. So I don't really have much Ruth. But my dad was a type card collector. I guess I would describe him as a Bowman man and collecting Mathewson and type cards from the 1900s up through the 30s. So those are kind of all my interest. Mike and I were talking yesterday about what are we doing here and focus or not focus. And I consider myself, I guess, not focused in general. So I guess I'm a food and beverage guy, but if you ask me what I want the most, I want cards from the 50s, I guess.
Yeah.
Everybody's complimenting your channel, Dave, and what you're doing and everything. You're receiving accolades. You'll have to go back and watch this later because
there's a lot of guys on here I don't recognize, and go back. I don't want to pound my drum, but what I would want more than anything with my channel is if someone who's interested in my channel is to go back to the early ones, because I've talked about this before. My early videos, I show some stuff that I'm most proud of, and I didn't have any subscribers at that time. And you know how it is, I don't dig back into you guys' videos from a year or so ago. And so you miss a lot of good stuff. I'm thinking about maybe rehashing it. Not that I don't have new stuff to show, but some of the stuff I'm like, gosh, I really wish more people had seen that because I'm really proud of it. And as you guys know, I'm kind of like showing stuff that I'm most pleased with, and won't show stuff that I'm not interested in myself.
That is.
Hey, stop.
That's hilarious. His comment. Did you say that?
It beeped off. It said, I don't know what it say.
Dave, what do you collect? Dave's answer: I don't collect 1991.
No, but I have unopened boxes of it. I do.
Here's a question from JT Triple Crown 24: Is a Mahomes Contenders auto in your future? No.
I think that's something that it's funny. I was in Kansas City earlier this summer, I think, and was at a card store there, and they had tons of Mahomes stuff, including some Contenders, which at that time I thought about, but I didn't pull the trigger on. And now, if I'm going to pay, my personal collection, if I'm going to pay big bucks on a card, it's not going to be a modern card. No way. I'm not going to do it. And by big bucks, I'm talking about, in the thousands. I just don't want to do that.
So Dave, I have a question for you. Were you happy with where the hammer price on your Orbit set?
Yeah. When I talked to them, when they called me, they say, "Hey, what are you looking to get out of the set?" And I said, "Listen, I know how these sets are. That's a niche set. That is a great set. I mean, that's not that is a great set, and it's a rare set. But in reality, like we talked, I think, Mike, it's not full of Hall of Famers. It's in that area of the early 30s where there wasn't a huge amount of studs, and there's not a lot in the set. So I was realistic. I said, I would like to get this X amount. And when you sell sets like that, you typically lose your butt on them because 80% of the price is in the graded superstars, and everything else you're kind of giving away for, to be honest with you. But they asked me what I'd want, and I gave them a number, and it exceeded that significantly. So good. Yeah, that was fine. I'm all about people pay what something's worth. You're never gonna put something up for $500 it's worth $500, and you only end up with $200 out of it. It's worth what it's worth to people. So that's the way it is. So I was happy enough. Yeah.
That was actually the first video of yours that I ever watched, Dave, was your Tattoo Orbit set.
Yeah. What did you think about that? It's an unusual set, and I
loved it.
Yeah.
It's completely badass. What are you talking about? It is awesome.
I loved it, and kind of the reason that how I kind of ran across that in the first place was I used to collect the 1933 George C. Miller set. So I was kind of trying to see if I could find anything like that on YouTube, and that popped up, and that's actually how I found your channel.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. It's a tough set. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, can you just imagine if there was like a Garrick or a Ruth in that set?
Right. Yeah. So I'll probably miss it, but I've said before, there's a small percentage of my collection that I will turn over in order to, loosen up some funds to buy some other things. There's some good auctions. I got completely shut out on REA, got shut out on Heritage. I was texting Andrew Nuff Said Cards, and it was brutal. There was a few things in those auctions that I really, really wanted, and I missed out on it. So I guess I got some money to start the year, because I didn't get anything.
Dave, I have a truckload of questions for you.
Listen to a rare appearance from Dave. I mean,
I know.
we gotta take it.
Yeah.
Dave is iconic. I know you love iconic being thrown around. That was from Eric, so you can yell at him later. Eric,
I can take it. I know to watch my channel, you got to bristle a little bit because I'm liable to go after you a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I can take it too. I know I'm crazy.
Dave, do you have any Tris speaker?
Yeah, I got it. It's T206.
Oh, only is T206.
And I think a couple strip cards. It's really interesting. Those I have a whole. I think I had a whole set of the W515 strip cards, and actually had a whole bunch of them in intact strips. And in one of those strips was a Babe Ruth, and those are hand cut. And I had a strip, and it had Ruth on it, and I had a decision: am I going to leave this in this strip cards of I think there's 6 players in the strip, or am I going to remove the Ruth? So I was really shaky handedly decided to cut the Ruth, and I cut the Ruth out of the strip and sent it to SGC, and it came back an 8. And that's the card that you see sometimes on Pawn Stars, where the PSA 10 one, they're asking like $400,000 for it. So but I sold it, and I sold it for like $700 or something like that. But to answer your question, I have a few strip speaker cards, but
Okay,
Mr. Fisher bike,
we're going to have to answer them quicker than that. It's going to take me all night. All right. We'll never get off.
Well, I'll shout it.
Let's see. Andy, what kind of Telecaster is that behind you?
That was actually my dad's. I can grab it.
Here's a question for all of us after we look at is it better to collect vintage or modern star player rookies? Dave, answer that real quick. It's only one word. Vintage.
Yeah, I think vintage. That's nice, Andy.
Thank you. Yeah, my dad, he had probably, I don't know, he probably had like 10 or 12 guitars.
Here, Andy, show it again. I love the pattern.
You know what Telecaster reminds me of?
Oh, let me see if I can get this in there.
What is that? Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good question, Dave, for you. What couple of cards are on your bucket list?
Bucket list. I don't know.
Did you win anything yesterday at RDA?
The obvious answer would be a 52 Mantle. But the reason I don't own a 52 Mantle is anybody can own a 52 Mantle. And anytime I want a 52 Mantle, if I can get the money, I can buy a 52 Mantle. But there's a lot of Mantle cards and a lot of cards that I want to collect that come up very, very rarely. And those are the ones that when I'm flipping through Heritage, I'm not stopping on 52 Mantles because I can see those any day of the week. I'm looking for, I'll just say what I'm looking at now. Small Traditions has a Briggs Meat Willie Mays PSA 1 going up in about 5 days, and you won't see one of those. And I'm going all in on it since I missed out on these other auctions. But as far as a bucket list, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have a card or 2 or 3 that I'm really going for. But
I think that's a great point about the Mantle, though.
I may never own one again, and that's fine. But I will own cards that, there's only a handful of them in the world. And that excites me more. The card that really excites me, and my video has hardly seen any hits, is my 54 Hires Root Beer Willie Mays test issue card. And there's 2 of them in the world. And I showed one in my video. And mine is a PSA 1 only because it's got a tiny, tiny rip at the top. Very, very tiny. There's a PSA 6 out there, and mine blows away. Those excite me. 52 Mantles don't excite me. Although I'd strangle either one of you to get one.
So
It's kind of
yeah.
like, I mean, just talking about from a basketball perspective, like the 52, I mean, like it's kind of like an 86 Fleer Jordan in basketball. Like if you want to put out the money, there's plenty of them out there to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dan asks, do vintage cards go up in price as modern stars do? And the answer is probably not. But if you're doing it for that, I mean, none of us here and nobody you've seen on this channel so far tonight, or most of the people in the comments, we're collectors, right? And so it doesn't mean we don't want our collections to have value and to go up in value, but that's certainly lower on the list of priorities of why we collect. So we're just not, I don't know that any of us can give you a really good answer to your question. Maybe Andy, not because Andy.
Well, I mean, I can tell you one thing for sure, that a lot of this newer stuff has a lot better chance of going down than the older stuff does.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. The vintage, they're not printing any more of it. They could, all this stuff, all this new stuff, the print runs are just out. It's crazy. Topps Chrome update, Series 2, whatever. There's tons of them. There's tons of Trout rookies out there yet to be graded. The Pop, I think that's going to be, when it's all said and done, there's two cards going to have the most highest PSA population of any card, the 2011 Trout and the 89 Upper Deck Griffey. Those will be the two highest, most popular graded, meaning there will be literally 100,000 of them, hundreds of thousands of them eventually graded.
The 89 Upper Deck Griffey, like there's supposedly at least 1 million of those cards out there.
I believe it. Ooh, Dave, I got another good question for you. How do you do your research on the rare items that you buy?
Well, some of them just goes from being in the hobby a long time. And there's a lot of periodicals that were out back in the 70s, this old Sports Collectors Digest and the Antique Digest and the there was all sorts of stuff like that just, you really had great amount of written resource at that time. And it doesn't probably compare to the internet, but I have that going back. But, I've touted it before, but that, that vintage catalog of sports cards that I hold up every once in a while, that is my number one resource for at least identifying cards. And then I just, if there's something I don't know about, I get online. There's plenty of stuff out there. I participate in Net for 54 baseball. I don't participate much anymore. I'm too opinionated, and I don't know.
I'm the same way with Blowout.
The owner of the site, has shredded me publicly, and then will shake my hand at the national, and it's just weird.
I'm the same way, like with the Blowout card forum. Like I love to go there and read the stuff, but I mean, there's too many keyboard warriors on there for me to want to get involved. As far as commenting too much,
No, I creep on Blowout, and I've never posted before. Yeah. What I do is I kind of look for threads that might interest me, which are few and far between, but that's what I do.
Yeah.
Do you play that Telecaster?
I don't. No. When I was probably, I don't know, maybe 13 or 14, and my dad attempted to teach me to play it, but it just didn't take. Like I just have no musical talent. My brother can actually play the drums, but my dad, he could play the drums, the guitar. He could play like lead guitar. He could play bass. He's a pretty talented musician.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, he played in a rock band when he was in high school, and yeah, he was pretty talented. So I didn't get any of that.
Never too late.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe I will pick it up.
Hey, why'd you get another Duffy autograph?
Why?
Is that a stupid question?
I actually can't tell you here.
You won 2, like right in a row, dude.
Say that again.
Am I letting the cat out of the bag here?
Yeah, it's a surprise for somebody that's on here, but thanks.
Hey, you didn't have to say that. Yes.
Let's just say I'm not going to say anything else about it.
About what?
The Duffy autograph.
Oh.
Just edit this out. Oh wait, it's live.
I don't know what are you talking
Yeah, we're
about?
live. Damn it.
Oh God.
All right, here's another question for you. Dave, you are Mr. Popular, man. How did Dave get?
That's just because I'm never on here.
That's right. How did Dave get on the food and beverage kick? I learned a lot about them from his videos.
Yeah. Well, that comes from my dad, and being a 50s collector and a type collector, and so he would dabble in that. But these early shows in the 70s, these big time collectors, you would go to these national. This wasn't me because this is more in my time, but you go to these nationals and these regional issues, people had they hadn't even heard of them. So the biggest collectors in the industry were collecting sets like the Glendale Meats cards and Rodeo out of Kansas City, because they were so scarce and rare, and they still are. But that was really interesting to me. And I grew up in the late 60s and 70s, so I don't know. Just anything food and beverage just seems that has to do with advertising. It's local niches, it's in a small markets, and I just find it to be fascinating. But I would say short answer is probably through my dad, I would think. Yeah. Hey,
Dave,
Brian.
I really have to thank you a lot for the content that you put out early in your time, because you taught me so much about these kinds of cards that I would just pass over at shows and pass through reading at 54. And now I really can know what they are, look at them, understand what they are, where they were issued. I think that's the most important knowledge that anyone could ever be armed with. So I really thank you for that.
I'll be right back.
I've been looking at the comments here. I gotta stand up for my modern voice here a little bit. Ed Wesker Griff, he said modern's a lot of fun and it's so rewarding when you get in on a guy before they explode. And to me, I agree, Ed. That is part of the fun. Is I like to collect vintage stuff as well, but there is something that's rewarding about being able to watch some of these guys play in real time, as opposed to learning about the history of what kind of player they were and stuff. So that's an interesting point, Ed. And then Eric said, I'm trying to find his comment here. He said, worry about what people want, not a pop report. That's a good point too.
Yeah, I feel like people get really tied up in the pop reports, even when buying commons.
I'm not getting Brian's feed. Are you hearing him?
I'm sorry?
Okay.
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, the Johnny Moore 86 Fleer. That card in a 9 or a 10 is worth a ton because of the where it was placed on the sheet when they were cutting the cards. And otherwise, Johnny Moore is a forgotten basketball player. But the only reason why anyone in 86 Fleer knows about him is because that card is so tough and high grade.
Yeah, and that goes back to kind of being a prisoner to the grade, basically, more than anything. I mean, everybody wants, in the 86 Fleer set, there's there's this big, huge contest. Everybody wants to have the highest graded set, and some of those guys they'll pay whatever it takes to get to that point. And I'm sure that's the case with. I mean, you guys know more about the vintage stuff, but I'm sure some people in the registry do that also, right?
I'm not a registry guy. Our resident registry guy has temporarily.
What's the question there, Andy?
What's that?
What's your question?
We're talking about, like he was talking about 86.
Yeah, I
Fleer.
couldn't hear what Brian. I'm not getting Brian's audio for some.
Oh, okay. Well, he was talking about like
sorry, Dave.
86 Fleer basketball and how like there's certain common guys that'll go for like crazy prices in high grade, and that's probably pretty true for vintage stuff as well, right? Like people that are trying to have like the highest grade set will pay like crazy prices for, you know, relatively no name guys.
Yeah, I think so. But you know, in the early vintage stuff, though, you're just not going to see those high grade. You're just not going to see, for the most part, a grade above a 7 for the most part, and so high grade is kind of relative. I mean, in a T206 set, I mean, what if you get above, you know, in the 4 to 6 range, those are really nice cards. Not that the lower grade, grades lower than that aren't, but in 4 to 6. I mean, those are really pretty and sweet cards. And if you get a T206 up into a 7, I kind of start to question them, to be honest with you. It's hard to me to believe that a card from 1909 has 4 blistering sharp corners. It would worry me. I have no interest in buying high grade T206 cards, but I don't know. You don't have to worry about as high a grade as you do in the modern stuff, where everything has to be a 9 or a 10.
And this is the question for both of you guys. Like, do you guys question a lot of these, you know, so-called recent finds of, you know, some of these just crazy high-grade vintage cards that are, you know, 100 years old, like when they found all those Ty Cobbs with the Ty Cobb backs and stuff like that? Do you guys question those at all, or?
You could take that one, Dave.
Is Brian talking? Because I can't get his feed.
Oh, Dave, can you hear me at all?
No, he said, "Go ahead, Dave."
I know. You like the big one would be the Black Swamp find.
Yeah.
All those E98s, and E98s are rare candy cards until that came out, and that just pulled the rug out of the market for E98s. Thankfully for me, as a Mathewson collector, and I'm trying to get a color run of the E98s, and I completely lost out on a red one in Robert Edward auction. But there weren't many Mathewsons in that Black Swamp find. There were just a few, and they were not high grade. So, but I don't question. I mean, there's the Lucky 7, the Ty Cobb back find. No, you know, there's probably a lot more stuff like that out there. There's a lot of addicts there on the East Coast that are. There's a lot of trunks, and there's a lot of great grandpas, and there's a lot of stuff out there to be found. I don't think you're going to find anything really west of the Mississippi, probably, but I think there's a lot of stuff out there, and I don't question. It's all legit, you know. In my eyes.
I was just gonna add that, you know, I think we're in a time where the generations that were collecting these cards as kids are, unfortunately, they're passing away, and as their estates are becoming available, you know, there are more people out there looking for things like this because the finds are so publicized and they really make national news. And you even have shows like Storage Wars where people are selling off storage lockers and finding things in storage lockers that were not paid off or ignored, or someone deceased, and they're, you know, up for grabs. But people are just out looking for stuff now, for collectibles, and to sell them.
Looks like we lost Dave.
He's still there.
Are you still there, Dave? Yeah, he might be gone.
Well,
so I'm looking here at the comments. Ed, let's see what Ed said here. He said, an issue I've run across trying to buy vintage, and I've told Brian this, is the price market varies too much in person at shows, whereas modern is more consistent. Is that a problem you see, Brian, also? Or I guess not a problem, but just something you see at shows?
Well, especially at shows, you have to be an informed collector, and you have to know what you're looking at. You got to bring a loupe. You got to bring a ruler. You probably have to have your phone like on you at all times, because you got to know what it is you're looking for and looking at. And if you're going in having not as much knowledge as you could, then you may miss something. You may buy an altered card. You may buy something that's that looks like a 7, but it's really a 3. You just don't know. So I really try to arm myself with as many tools as much knowledge as I can to just make an informed buying decision. And I think, Ed, that there's some truth to your statement. I think it's easier to judge the condition of a modern card, but you just got to be prepared for to buy the card you want to buy.
Yeah, so experience plays a big role in that too, right? Being familiar with the certain issue that you're looking at.
For sure.
Welcome back, Mike. Hi, Ryan.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Ryan.
Can you guys hear me?
You don't show your face on camera very often, so.
No, I have to keep a secret identity. But now you know who I am.
Well, if you watched my national video, day 2, I think you were on it.
Yes, I was.
Andy actually shot that video for us.
I remember meeting you, Ryan.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still the oldest card I had. Now you have it.
Now it's the oldest card I have. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. We got a question here from Chicago Slabs and Stuff. Any opinions on serious auctions?
I would refer to Vintage Card Curators Keith's newest video. That was very informative and very interesting regarding Sirius.
I haven't seen it yet. So when did he post that?
That would have been like last week, maybe over the weekend, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great video. I mean, as always, Keith just great work, but very informative about Sirius.
All right, it starts getting crazy with 5, so I need a volunteer other than Ryan to leave. See, we can't even hear Dave anymore.
Something's going on with Dave.
Yeah. Dave. Bye, Dave. Love you, man. All right. So
he left like he was gone for a minute while you were gone, and then he came back, but there was no sound.
We can actually have up to 6 on this stream.
Wow.
But we've done it, we've experimented with it, and it gets a little cacophonic, to say the least.
Yeah, it didn't work on my phone. I had to go on the laptop.
Well, Ryan, tell everybody about you, man, and what. By the way, love your channel, and I had you before the national, and I'm so glad I did, because your stuff is awesome, and that set you just finished, gosh, the finest great setup.
Well, I've been collecting for a long time. I stopped during the junk era, then got married, had kids, and noticed the local card store open up in my neighborhood. And I walked in there and noticed that they had cards with memorabilia on them, and there was autographs on cards, and I was amazed. I was obsessed. So I bought a box of SP Authentic and pulled a David Ortiz letter autograph card, and it's been collecting ever since like 2012. I have a lot of stuff in my card room that I haven't even really shown. I would love to bring this downstairs, but I think the reception might cut me off. So I just have a lot of modern stuff. No vintage. My only vintage I had was that T206. I just go to a lot of card shows, like maybe 2 or 3 times a year, save up and get what I want. And then I finally just completed a set. I don't know if anyone saw that video. There it is.
Yeah.
Zach Wheat.
Thank you, Ryan.
I don't even know who Zach Wheat is.
He's a Hall of Famer rookie. That's his rookie card too.
I know. I gave it to my grandpa and told him it was something that was older than him, and he got pretty mad at me, so he gave it back to me.
I remember that.
He turned 90 in October, by the way. Ex-Marine, so he's got that drill sergeant attitude.
So, Ryan, would you consider yourself, because you said you only go to like maybe a couple of shows a year, would you consider yourself like more of a quality versus volume guy then when you're buying?
It's really funny. I look at everything and anything. I'll know it if I want it. I always try and barter prices. Some guys are really insanely high, and I know it's not worth that much, so I'll barter with them. But you gotta know how to when to walk away. I can't get everything I want, but sooner or later I will have everything I want.
There's always another one. I try to tell people that, like,
Yeah.
there's always another one.
Well, I'm hoping there's not anymore. I just completed the Finest Greats collection and just posted that on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet. That took me 5 years. It was the longest set I've ever tried to get, and I never thought I would get it. So it was kind of a great little adventure. I actually don't know what to do now. I kind of not sure what else to collect. I don't know if I want to go to vintage because that's just a whole new world, and I'm married. So costs more money too.
You gotta upgrade the banks. That's what you have to do.
I'm actually doing a video soon that I'm going to show how diluted and full of autographs the card world has become. It's just, I have opened so many wax boxes in the last 5 years, and I pull so many autographs of these no-name players. I call them the guys that haunt me. So I actually have been going through this crazy drawer that I have just about all this random stuff, and I've stacked all these double autographs I've pulled out of boxes, and I was going to do a video on that and you guys probably know the same people I have. I have like 4 or 5 of their autographs, and they're unfortunately probably won't do anything with their career. But I got 4 or 5 of their autographs, and they definitely flooded the industry. So that'll be an interesting video.
Ryan, question for you. How many nationals have you been to?
3.
3?
Yes. And the best one was last year.
Why was that? I agree with you, but why do you think so?
I guess YouTube has really kind of opened up a world of, I had so much memorabilia and stuff that I've collected. I'm a major collector of anything. I mean, I have pop figures. If you haven't seen my background, I collect. That's what I've always done. So I just be able to show it and find people that actually enjoy it, because there isn't many people like us out there. At least I couldn't find around my area. So YouTube kind of opened that up. So and meet people like Mike O and Pepino Man, and Nate is awesome. So I just kind of flock to them and watch all your guys' videos, and just kind of talking card. That's the way to go.
Yeah,
we are a strange group for sure.
Yes.
But awesome.
But awesome.
Mike always looks so tired, though.
I am always tired. I'm exhausted right now. I'm sitting here going, man, I got.
You sound like Ray the other night now.
Yeah, I know. But I have bags under my eyes all the time.
You're busy collecting. I understand.
Collecting's hard. It's hard on you.
Ryan, with those autos that you get in a box, or games you get in a box you don't care about, you can actually send them to blowout. If you send 50 cards, they pay you $1.25 for each card, and you can use it as blowout credit to buy a box.
I did not know that, because I have probably hundreds of them.
You can make a lot of money doing that, and then open more products.
That's not even including the common cards, which I have no idea. I usually give them away to kids in a church down the street sometimes. But I have 5,000 count boxes, 50 or 60 of them sitting in a storage. Just
wow.
One day they'll be worth something. But yeah, and I haven't really decided whether or not I wanted to show what's behind the wall yet. I don't know if any of you guys know what that means, but I showed my memorabilia wall. It's pretty big, and there's actually something behind it. So I was going to think about showing that one day. I think that will definitely make a lot of people like it.
Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm intrigued.
When my wife and I bought this house, the basement was unfinished, and she allowed me to make that basement mine. So I had many areas in it strictly for memorabilia and cards. So there's a lot of really cool attractions down there. Maybe if you're ever in town, you guys can come over and we can play.
Okay.
Check out the cards.
Cool.
Brian doesn't know what to do with that. But
I know.
No, I don't at all. No,
I'm married.
Understood. That doesn't mean anything, though.
There were some good questions. I'm trying to find them. The chat is just going bananas, so I'm having a hard time. There was a good question for us to discuss.
When was the first national we went to?
Was that a question?
Third time around, I asked it.
Oh, that's a good question then. I might win.
Go for it, Mike.
1990.
That's the year I was born, so.
Oh man,
that was my first national. It was 1990.
God, Mike, I was there at that one too.
Okay, and Arlington.
Yeah.
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 All right, we're tied.
I was 11 years old.
Wow.
You were born. Brian wasn't even born. Like, geez.
No, I was born in June, so I would have been 2 months old if the timing was right.
I know it was in the summer. I don't remember if it was similar to late summer as it is now. I don't remember. I mean, that was a long time ago, but
it probably was. I have an uncle that lives in that area, so I just happened to be there visiting them during that time. So, and my uncle knew that I collected, and he knew I liked baseball cards. So I went with him and my grandpa, and yeah, that's where I've told this story before on my channel, but I literally bumped into Willie Mays at that show.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Did you say anything to him?
And he was like a dick, by the way, too.
Oh man, that's unfortunate to hear.
Here, Bink Scott has a question. Is there a category between modern and vintage? Gary, maybe
Ed had a really good answer to this, and he said junk wax, which I think is
marriage.
So great.
To me, modern starts. I mean, vintage is anything to me pre-1980, but
Correct.
I guess everybody can define it their own way. There's no right or wrong to it.
I think that's to include the Ricky Henderson rookie card.
Touche. Well, you could say 80 and before, because 81 you start with Fleer and Donruss, right? And you start it starts a new era of cards, right? So you could easily make that argument.
Right.
Do you guys that's kind of been you know, kind of the, I guess, mainstream kind of, you know, date for at least like since I was a kid. Do you guys ever think that will change? Kind of like, I mean, because it's so weird for me. Like today, you'll listen to like classic rock stations and they're playing like Nirvana and Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Do you think that date ever moves, or is that just going to be set?
Like it's a rolling period, you know, going through time.
Because I mean, vintage, I guess.
Really That's a really good question.
That is a good
question.
question.
I think it will stay static. I don't think it's going to change.
I agree with Brian.
Because I mean, like, let's just say you started collecting in 1979. You didn't consider like 75 vintage in 79, right? You see what I'm saying?
I do. I understand. You're making a good point, Andy. It's just different. I guess, what's the definition of a classic car? It's got to be 30 years old, right? I think that's like the definition of what classic is.
I guess, yeah.
And so that's always a moving target. You know, every year a new car becomes a classic car. If you said anything 30 years older cardboard, what would that be? 1989?
Yeah, 89 tops is vintage now.
Yeah, exactly. 30-year-old card.
Depressing to think about. I literally have 5,000 count boxes that I will throw away before I consider them vintage of 89 tops. So,
do you go through
them? No, there's nothing in there to get. What's there to get for that?
I go through mine sometimes because I find just little treasures. I don't know.
Mike, you forget that you found a Trout rookie rummaging through a box of 2011 updates. So
that's right.
Listen, I wouldn't not look through any of your boxes.
Well, that just shows you how often I look through them, Brian.
Seriously.
Hey, see, I've been up to New York to see you. Now you come down to Texas, you hang out with me. We'll have Andy come over and we'll rummage and
Rangers game.
You can keep what you find. How about that?
Sounds good.
You can keep what you find. I didn't get that opportunity.
Touche. Because you can come down more often. You'll be taking half my stuff. But
yeah, I would have found some pretty cool stuff if that was the case.
Yeah. We've been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and easily the longest live stream I've ever done. I would love to hear feedback from everybody out there. If you're watching this in playback, or if you're on the stream right now, go on the actual video when it posts to YouTube and put a comment down below what you thought about the format. Do you like this idea? Is this something maybe Andy and I should do periodically? How often would you like to see it? I think it was fun, and I think everybody got a lot of positive feedback. But just put a comment in the video itself on YouTube, not necessarily in the chat here, but just let me know what you guys think about the format. Ryan, sorry you're getting so little time, brother.
That's cool.
It's funny because, like, you know, almost 2.5 hours ago now, Mike, he called me and he's like, I have this crazy, like, harebrained idea. And I'm like, I'm in. Before I even heard the idea, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. You know? And then he tells me the idea, and I'm like, yeah, that could work.
So
I wanted to just tell a quick story, Mike, before I guess we're like in the process of signing off.
We are.
So on Saturday, for anyone who doesn't know, I work in a men's tailored clothing store in New York City. And in the morning, store opened, we have appointments coming in. And around 11:30, we had a customer come in who was late for his appointment at 11:15. And so we sat down. My colleague was getting through his appointment. And I guess around like 12 o'clock, the customer comes back to me. He's like, you know, like, you look really familiar. And I'm like, oh, like, I get that sometimes. I'm like, oh, have we like worked together? Like, I've been working this brand for like 5 years. I don't know if I work with a client or not. He's like, are you on YouTube? And I'm like, yeah. It was Dead Guy Cardboard.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah. It was incredible. So Ben and I talked for like 20 minutes, and he lives in Brooklyn, and I live in Manhattan. And he's getting married in January, and he got his custom shirt from us.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I was blown away.
YouTube shrinks the world every day. It makes the world smaller. Well, awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks to everybody who joined in. Everybody joined in on the chat, who came in here. Again, let us know what you think. And we're going to sign off now. But thanks, guys, everybody, for hanging out with us and having fun.
Very fun.
Absolutely.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.
All right. You guys can actually stay here. I'm just going to end the broadcast. Hang on.
Okay.
See you guys.